If you were born in the 1900s, you probably overplucked the hell out of your eyebrows. Well, guess what, babe? I'm gonna show you how to fix that. If you have dry or textured eyes, use a serum-like concealer. And yes, you're not tripping. I carve out the shape of my brows using concealer before I go in with any brow products. I'm not blending the concealer. I'm actually pressing it into my skin with a flat synthetic brush. Whatever powder you use to set underneath your eyes, use that same powder to carve out the top shape of your eyebrows. Now the powder that I use to highlight the inner corners of my eyes, I'm using that to also highlight my brow art. Do not do this step until the concealer is fully dry. To achieve natural hair-like strokes, I'm using two different colors. One is taupe and the other is ash brown. Ash brown is like a true dark brown color, and then taupe is like a ashy blonde kind of shade. And so I use the lighter color in the front and middle areas of the brow, and then I use the darker shade at the middle and the tail end of the brow to add the definition. You want to do very quick, short hair-like strokes. All of the colors that you're seeing me use on my eyes are the exact same colors that I use on my face. So for example, if I'm going to take a highlight powder on my face, like under my eyes, on my forehead, I'm going to use that same color in the areas I would highlight my eyes. The areas where I would contour and kind of bronze up my face, I would use that same color to contour my eyes and warm them up. What year did you fuck up your brows? No, I'm not having a mental health crisis. I just shaved and bleached my eyebrows, and now I have to customize my own brow gel because I don't have any colors to match. I'm using Soba eyeshadow from MAC. It is a warm tone, light medium brown with a satin finish. I always use a satin finish when I'm making my own brow gel because your hair naturally has a sheen or like satin finish to it, so I don't want my brows to look too flat or too dull. I'm gonna mix in Omega eyeshadow. It's a little bit cooler tone, more of a taupey brown, and I'm gonna add just a little bit of that to lighten it up and cool it down just a tad. The more eyeshadow you use, the more pigmented the brow gel will be. I'm scraping it onto a thick piece of clean paper to kind of funnel it into the brow gel. It is messy, y'all, so take your time. I don't care. I have a bunch of this eyeshadow, so I'm just gonna make it do what it do. Okay, wait a minute, MAC, y'all are really getting on my nerves because I was researching this eyeshadow for y'all and why is it discontinued? MAC, are you kidding me? Like, this is the eyeshadow color for blonde brows. Like, what are you thinking? And I'm over here scraping this and just spilling it everywhere. This eyeshadow is going for $40 on eBay. What the fuck? To avoid getting too much air into the product, I am trying to scrape and swirl as opposed to pumping, okay? Scrape and swirl the sides. Don't pump it, baby. And when you pull it out, look at that. It's all moist and creamy, the perfect brow gel. And look at me in real life in real sun, filmed on the iPhone 15. And if you want to know how to bleach your brows like me, I have a tutorial on that right now. If you want to know where your brow should start and where it should stop, make a mark. Make a mark. Anywhere that I'm going to put the brow products, I take alcohol to remove anything right here. And this is a lot lighter than a very thin angled brush. I like my brows to look like they just got waxed. You know, and when your brows just get waxed, they look super light, don't they? They do. Flat brush. See how it gives a beautiful gradient? And this look doesn't really take a long time. I'm just using the sponge to clean up the little tail end here. So I'm going to set my brows with the Laura Mercier Translucent Honey. I'm just gonna go in and start pressing it. So you see the difference now? This is just the concealer, right? And then now I'm setting it with the powder. Two markers, NYX Lift and Snatch, okay? Now what the fuck does that say? Oh, Ash Brown and Espresso. Okay, now we're gonna do brows, and I'm using two colors, a lighter color and the dark color. I start off with the lighter color, and that is Ash Brown. Tip marker. See, there's a little divot right here, right? There's a gap. That means I need to add more fake hair. When I'm drawing the hairs on, I pay attention to where or which direction the hair in that section is growing, right? So on the tail is just this little piece here. the hair grows kind of like down at an angle a little bit, right? So when I'm drawing, I'm making sure that I'm drawing like that, right? Then when I turn this way, for these little hairs here, they're going straight up. This little rectangle section here, all of these hairs go straight up. So when I fill that in, I'm gonna go straight up. And sometimes I'll brush the hair out the way, brush it down, so I can see where the natural hairline is and just fill in that little top area that's sparse. All right, now I'm gonna take the darker brow product and just use it to fill in and add some like dimension and depth. But I'm mostly going to keep it like kind of this back area here. This is NARS Laguna 6 fluffy brush. And I'm just gonna hit this little front piece here. And I'm gonna take some right here, just in that outer V, and drag it out. But we're like done. Just a nice, easy Haus Eyebrow. It's clear lifting treatment gel. I will be going back for the full size and paying my hard-earned money for this, because this is a product that actually works. I love it. It holds your brows in place. It gives them flexibility, but they don't move. They don't get crusty and get that like white, weird stuff on there. If you don't got time for a full face of makeup every damn day, this tutorial is for you. This is an everyday lazy girl makeup routine. You don't need to put foundation all over your face. You're only gonna spot conceal and brighten up your under eye area. That's it, okay? So get into it. I'm mixing my foundation shades to get the perfect match, because the more perfect the match is, the less product you have to use everywhere else. So I'm pressing the product into the skin and I'm blending out the edges. I'm gonna use a translucent setting powder that has a little bit of color to it to set it. I'm not going to use a full coverage powder foundation. Get into this playlist though. Oh my God, dang. This is all the translucent powder still. To set underneath my eyes and give me a little bit more coverage, I'm going to use the Charlotte Tilbury powder. I have really large pores, and this is going to also help blur out that area. Now, I'm not trying to look like a dusty dust bucket, so I'm going to use a glycerin setting spray like the MAC Fix Plus. And just for clarification, this does not necessarily set your makeup. It just melts your makeup to make it look more like skin, but is not going to make your makeup last longer. I want my skin to look a lot dewier, so I'm going to use the e.l.f. Hydro Grip Primer. This actually gives you like a glossy type finish. If you notice, you're going to still see some of my hyperpigmentation peeking through, and all of this was done intentionally. I don't want my skin to necessarily look like I'm wearing a mask. I just want a little bit of coverage. I want my skin to still look like skin, so you can see some freckles and some imperfection. For more of a natural bronze effect, use a tapered, fluffy brush and fluff everything over your skin. And yes, the forehead too. For the love of God, please put makeup on your forehead, y'all, please. And y'all know my rule of thumb for a natural eyeshadow. Whatever powders you put on your face, do the same thing for your eyeshadow. I use the charcoal brown from the Patrick Ta palette for my winged liner and my shadow. I use the Milani Cosmetics and Ofra mascaras to stack my lashes. And I'm mixing the two ColourPop lip liners as my lipstick in Pitch and BFF3. I want another layer of dewiness, so here we go. I was gonna leave it matte like this, but I got tempted to put on the NYX Butter Gloss, and so I did it. If you want a full breakdown on the eyeshadow, let me know. But look at this. What filter? Where's the filter? No filter.